if your toes don't work, you might have lockjaw. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, everything is connected.
If your toes don't work, you'll probably have a locked jaw.
Yeah, people, you work the prime years of your life, you retire, you put in all these hours, and then you can't enjoy your retirement because knee pains, hip pains, injuries. So
the foundation of the entire universe is the triangle, which is the mind, body, and soul. I never knew somebody would come on this show and tell me that also connects back to this triangle. Do you ever stress it?
Not to get stressed too often, like my body obviously stresses, but my personality, I always have this mantra of like, if it's not gonna affect me in 5 years, it's not gonna affect me now. The world is hard enough as is. I'm not trying to make it harder for myself. I want to beat the world record for 100-meter sprint over the age of 100.
Right now, I'm just fascinated by it.
It's a gift. It's being able to be pain-free is amazing. Longevity is kind of the name of the game now. Not everyone wants to have like big muscles or anything. They want to not hurt. They want to be mobile. They want to be able to move. And an easy way, not that it's easy, but an easy way to get to that goal.
So welcome to the next episode of The Soul Unfolding. Today, I have an extremely special friend and he likes to do Pilates. You know why? So that he can eat more. So let's get to the chase. Thank you, Nathan, for being with us.
Thanks for having me. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. The pleasure all mine. Okay. You know why I wanted to talk to you? Because you are into Pilates and I wanted to ask you, I did not know Pilates was founded by a man.
Yeah, like that's the funny thing. Most people, if they come into my class, are like, oh, you're a male. I'm like, yeah, all my life I've been. I'm just checking, right? But for the most part, like Pilates was made by a man for men because there's a lot of imbalances. Most of the time, guys go to the gym and they don't work on their smaller muscles. They don't work on the intricate parts that they need to flexibility, resistance, strength. Like they focus on one more than the other. So with Pilates, you kind of get that full repertoire of everything. And I got into it off of an injury, unfortunately. Like it was probably 12 years ago now. Someone fell on my leg. All of the ligaments in my foot were ruptured, except for my Achilles. And the doctor was like, you're not going to walk again. And at the time I was a personal trainer. I'm like, that's not going to happen. I can't not walk, right? I'm still too young to not be able to move or anything. And there was a Pilates instructor that was like, don't worry, I'm going to have you try this. You are going to do this for like 3 months and you'll be back on the court. And I was like, there's no chance that's going to work, right? So I gave my life to her basically, started doing Pilates every day. And 2 months later, I was able to run, jump, walk, healed my ankle. And then after that, I was like, I need to learn and do more of this because if it was able to heal me, like I wanted to share that with the world. And that's kind of like how I got into Pilates. And I always want to teach everybody, but I also have a special spot when I was like, I have guys in my class, I'm like, you need to try this. Like, this is going to be the thing that helps you be a better athlete, or this is the thing that's kind of help you not have those little injuries. So like, yeah, Pilates by men, for men. Again, I love having women do it as well, but like, yeah, it's something that I think everyone should do, really.
Which is strange because when you talk about the Pilates class, you see it is just filled with women. So how did that transition happen?
That kind of goes into like the history of Pilates. Joseph Pilates had a few people that were like dancers in his studios in New York. And then that kind of where Pilates went, like a lot of dancers in ballet did it because, again, it's one of the unique modalities where it's strength, it's flexibility, it's eccentric and concentric contractions, but you can get those long, lean muscles, right? So when you're dancing, you might be on your toes, you might have to go into the splits, but there's a lot of strength components into it. Like dancers are supreme athletes, and Pilates kind of helps you nourish that part of your workout regimen. And then that for the last couple 100 years have been like, yeah, that's the community that's kind of grasped onto it. But I think now more and more people, you're starting to see like NFL players and basketball players start to do it because they're realizing longevity is kind of the name of the game now. Not everyone wants to have like big muscles or anything. They want to not hurt. They want to be mobile. They want to be able to move. And Pilates is an easy way, not that it's easy, but an easy way to get to that goal.
Is it going to be easy for me? Because this is something I realize as I age, you know, when you're younger, you do heavy lifting, you want to lift heavy muscles. But I think as you age, you realize how important flexibility is.
And that's the thing, right? So like to answer your question, is it going to be easy? I'm not going to lie to you. It'll be challenging.
Just say the truth.
It's going to be challenging, but it's something that, like I said, I think everyone needs it because, like you said, when I was the same way in my 20s, lift heavy, I want to get like big muscles, get strong. Now that I'm later in, I want to be more flexible. I don't want to hurt. No one wants their knees to hurt, their hips to hurt. They
Yeah.
want, and that's why it's having a moment and being so popular, because people are starting to realize there's a little bit of a shift of I don't want to hurt. Like I want to feel good. And that's, like I said, with me, I wouldn't be walking today without Pilates, right? So it's literally like that is the thing that helped me, and I want to share that with everyone because it's a gift. It's being able to be pain free is amazing. I always have like every job interview, they always ask you like, what's your purpose? Or like Simon Sinek had this book, people need to know your why. And as a trainer, I always said like my why, it's kind of silly, but I'll let you know. I want to beat the world record for 100-meter sprint over the age of 100.
You want to beat the record of 100-meter race at the age of 100.
Yeah, right. Not Usain Bolt's one. There's an actual Guinness one, right? So basically what that entails is you have to be 100 years old or older. So that's my longevity. You have to live and be healthy, but you also have to be mobile. You're not allowed to use a stroller, a cane. Your hands can't touch the floor and your knees can't touch the floor. So that's being upright and walking till the age of 100. And as you see, like a lot of people, as they get older, they start to hunch over. They can't walk. They can't move. So like Pilates and fitness kind of helped me with that. But I also said I want all my clients to get there first to make it harder for me. Because right now the record's held, if I'm still correct, there's a 104-year-old man from China. It took him about 56 seconds to walk the 100 meters.
Really?
But he was able to walk it at the age of 104.
Wow.
I look at like my grandparents and like other people, and they're 80 and they're having trouble walking in 100 meters. It seems like a short distance right now, but it's longer as you get older. So if I can help people be more mobile and be functional in the later years, then I've done my job. Like I always think it's a shame. You have people, you work the prime years of your life, you retire, you put in all these hours, and then you can't enjoy your retirement because knee pains, hip pains, injuries. So if I can get people to be healthier and live longer and enjoy their retirement, then I'm a happy soul.
That's what matters, right? Even if you touch one life, that fulfills your purpose. You feel that's a real level of satisfaction.
Yeah, 100%. Like the world is so big. There's what, like 7 billion people now? And if you have the ability, and growing, yeah, it's always growing, right? If you have the ability to touch one person's life positively, that's a special power, right? Like and I think it's something as simple, like we overcomplicate it, like holding a door for somebody, telling someone like, hey, you look great, just being able to make someone smile and make their day, like that one thing, you don't know the butterfly effect on how that affects somebody. They could have been having a terrible day and like, oh, that person held the door for me and now I'm going to hold the door for the next person. And it's like emotions, it's contagious, right?
Yeah.
And I think the world just needs just more happiness and more like kindness. Like we're just too hard on ourselves sometimes and the world's heavy, and it's just like, just be kind and do what you would like happen to you to others, right? Like it's kind of the golden rule.
Yeah, that's why. Go hard at the gym, go hard at the Pilates, but be soft outside.
Exactly.
Honestly, I'm glad that you came late. Because first of all, I can control the lights. There's no sun.
That's true.
So, right? So I'm loving it. And then the amount of grounding that I have now, it does make a difference.
Yeah, it was meant to be. It was meant to be.
Exactly. I think everything in life is meant to be.
100% agree.
Yeah. Do you feel you would be in this journey of teaching Pilates to other had you not gone through that injury?
No, because like I said, I worked at a facility and like we had a Pilates studio, but I never stepped foot in there before that. It was the injury that kind of helped me, and like I believe that like, yes, we can influence our past, but things are kind of predetermined. It's kind of how you react to it. So we're kind of just navigating through life. So yeah, without me playing basketball, without that injury, I probably wouldn't have been introduced to Pilates. And then if I wasn't introduced to Pilates, I don't even know where or what direction my life would be in now, because everything is kind of like a cascade of dominoes, right?
Yeah.
Because I've been able and privileged to teach so many different people, and then that's opened up different doors and had me gone to different facilities in the GTA, and then being able to meet different people. Again, like I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't Pilates, right? So like it's those little things where I always have this like fun little game where I'm thinking like, where did I meet this person? How do you interact? And like we said, there's 7 billion people. The fact that two lives will intersect at one time always fascinates me. It's like, it's going to sound weird, a mosquito bite, right? There's probably a million mosquitoes, or if not more, on the planet. The fact that one can land on your arm and bite you is literally like lightning hitting you. Like the chances are really slim. It's the same thing of like, how did we meet each other? The chances are slim. And then there's 600 billion people that I'm not going to meet, right? So it's just like interactions and just being able to meet someone is precious.
Yeah.
And that's why like I want to leave a positive mark on everyone that I interact with.
It's, every person you meet, it's also said that you have a contract with them. Some have a soul contract, some have a karma contract, some you're meant to be with, but every person you meet, you have probably met them in your past life.
Okay, I didn't know. That's cool.
Yeah. Maybe the mosquito was your best friend.
I didn't treat it well then. I didn't treat it well.
Or maybe the mosquito was a good kisser.
Yeah, no, I don't know. That's cool. I've never heard that before because I just feel it's unique. It's a unique way to meet people, and then it's a unique way. Like Pilates, like I said, is something that has been an instrumental part of my life, and it kind of helped me do what I do. And then that's kind of built on that. And it's one of those foundation things that I just want to share with as many people as I can.
That's amazing. But when you also talk about Pilates, what does it exactly focus on, and how is it different from stretching?
The main difference would be that it's spring loaded, right? So if you're on the reformer, and that's one of the apparatus, when you could be stretching, you could be doing strength, you could be doing resistance, and because there's spring tension, when you hold a stretch, it's just gravity that's working, and you only go into the limit you can. When you're on the reformer, it's pulling you slightly, or it's pushing you, depending on, and your muscles have to react to that differently, so it elicits a different response. So I could try and touch my toes, not be able to get there. I can go on the reformer and do an exercise that loosens up my hamstrings or loosens up my calves, and then I can get 2 to 3 inches more range of motion. So it's something that aids you in being able to be more flexible, but you always want to get flexibility that you can use. So your muscles have to get used to that too. It's always like when someone says, I was in a hot room and I was able to touch my toes, like, yeah, because you're warm. But when you leave that room, you don't have that range of motion. That's the main difference with Pilates. And you do an exercise on the reformer specifically, you leave the room and you'll still have that range of motion because your muscles had to work against the springs. It's not a passive stretch. It's an active stretch. So it's like, okay, I'm stretching, but say, just for the sake of discussion, it's 5 pounds of resistance pushing against me. So now your muscles are, oh, I have to react to that. I have to push against that. And they start getting stronger. And then you get more range of motion, and then you get stronger in that range of motion. So it's like a whole system. Like, it was really genius of what Joseph Pilates thought of.
I was reading about the history of Pilates, but I think the Pilates were also called something else back then.
Controlology.
Yes.
No one would do a class if you said, hey, do you want to come do controlology with me? It's a longer name, so he kind of named it after himself, but that's basically the basis of it. Being able to control your body and control your movements. That's one thing. Like, I know we were talking beforehand, controlling emotions, but people have an issue with controlling their body and controlling their emotions. And that's like, how do you, with the Pilates, it's like, I want people to get better at controlling their body. Do you know your left from your right? Can you do X, Y, and Z with both sides? Most people are dominant on one side, but they can't do the same thing on the other. I always tell people, like, when they do the class, we always start off with footwork. Reason why, your feet are the foundation of your body. You stand on them for most of the time, and most people can't move their toes. Like I always say, fingers and toes are very similar. Yeah, you're going to try now, right?
Yeah.
But can you do just lift your big toe and nothing else? Right?
Yeah.
Can you lift, and can you type, and right? And a lot of people don't have that dexterity with their toes. And that's where it's like, if you don't have dexterity with your toes, then you don't have movement in the ankles. And that can present in calves, tight calves, or tight hamstrings. Or when people say they have lower back pain, it's usually like their glutes aren't firing or hamstrings are tight, or it could be something above the chain or below the chain.
That is something I've dealt with myself personally. Yeah. So lower back pain, I've always realized that if I do leg day and I don't stretch for a longer period of time, that leads to a pain in my back. Yeah.
So that's probably your hamstring is tight and it's pulling on your glute and pulling on your back, and that's where you feel it. Because typically, and again, this is kind of a generalization, lower back pain is pain in the back presenting somewhere else. So did you stretch? Is your glute tight, or is one side looser than the other? And that's where you kind of feel that in your lower back.
It's so surprising. Like the human body is so complex. Like everything works in tandem to make sure that you function the way you're supposed to function.
100%. I always tell people, like, in class, if your toes don't work, you might have lockjaw, and they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Everything is connected."
If your toes don't work, you'll probably have a locked jaw.
Yeah, or if you like snore. So like there's fascia lines that really connect from your feet all the way to your mandible, right? And it's like there's a trick that one of my old trainers showed me where it's like he takes a credit card and he digs it into your jaw, right? And he loosens up right through here, and then your hamstring is a lot looser. And I'm like, how does that make sense? And he goes, if you follow the fascia lines, everything's connected.
Yeah.
So when people are like, oh, I can't do this on this side, tell me why. What happened? Oh, I used to hold my kid on this hip, so my hip was hiked up, and now I can't do anything on the right side, or my right knee hurts.
Because of the imbalance.
Exactly, right? So it's like the human body, like you said, is super complex, but everything is connected, and it's all one intricate. It's beautiful because like something you might have done when you were 10 years old to your right ankle could change how you become as an adult, and you're like, oh, I lean to the side now. Why is that? Because I broke that ankle, or different things.
Yeah.
So it's all like one connecting thing. And then on top of that, there's the mind-body connection. And that's something that, again, with Pilates, because you have to focus and you have to pay attention to your movements, it's can you control your mind to control your body? And then do you have the awareness to, okay, we're going to move this leg independently, and I don't want the other leg to move. Or we're going to keep your core engaged as these arms and legs move at a different pace or different timing. So it's a full mental, physical, and I would also say a little bit of a spiritual movement to get you into a complete regimen.
Wow. Right now I'm just fascinated by it.
You got to try it. So.
I have to, because first of all, I didn't know that Pilates is it's not just for women. It was founded by a man for men.
Yeah.
That was the foundation. Because in India, you don't see, at least when I was back in India, you didn't see Pilates much. Or even if there was, maybe it was way too expensive. So I couldn't see it out there.
Yeah.
My recent exposure was maybe back in my college and the fitness center.
Okay.
But even over there, I've mostly seen just women do it. And even on the internet.
Yeah.
So, see, when you talk about when I got into fitness, it was mostly like, okay, you would have all the bro boys coming together. We would lift, and working out was all about having a built physique, that V-tapered back, thick legs, not the chicken ones. And then
of course.
Working on those calves and everything. So, can Pilates help you build muscle as well? I know it can help with the mind-muscle connection, which is fabulous, because one thing I've realized working out over the past years is that I think the amount of muscle that I've built as of now is not because of lifting heavy, but because of having constant tension on my muscle because of the mind-muscle connection. The more I focus on it, the more I fire those neurons.
Yeah.
So, but can Pilates help you build muscle as well?
I wouldn't say build muscle. Like, you're not going to get big size from doing Pilates, but you're going to get strength. Like I mentioned, you're going to go into a range of motion that you might not have been in. And then you're going to get strength in that motion. So I always tell people, like, yes, I always think you need to do both. Like, weight room and Pilates is kind of, like you said, the bros, they still have the opportunity. I love taking guys and being like, hey, if you do these 2 exercises with me in the Pilates studio, I guarantee that your squat's going to get 5 pounds on it right now. And they're like, impossible. And I'm like, okay. And it's usually just opening up their hips or a hamstring stretch or something of that nature. Same thing like bench press. If you want to do bench press, I can do certain movements that open up your shoulder mobility, and then you're going to recruit more muscles because you're getting deeper on your press.
That's so true. Right? Like going with the proper range of motion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But in terms of like size, like I've been doing Pilates for a year. I wouldn't say I'm a big guy, right? But strength wise, you're definitely gonna get strength because you can do it to where you're working on stability. You can do it where you're working on strength. You can do it where you're working on range of motion or flexibility. That's the beauty of it. It's very versatile. So I would say like work it as a system with your workouts. And then I always challenge people like do a couple sessions with me. Do something before your workout so you can see. Like I have one 15-year-old that I train, and he's like, I have a big basketball game coming up. And I'm like, okay. So we did Pilates before his game. He's like, I'm not gonna be too tired. I'm like, no, we took it easy. And he was like, my hips were super open. His lateral speed was way better. And I'm like, yeah, it's range of motion, right? He hates to stretch. Most of us do, right? But that's where it's like, okay, you did a little bit of Pilates, that's opening up your hips. And then he played a really good game because he had lateral quickness and he didn't feel restricted.
Wow.
Like I get so many people leaving class and they're like, I feel taller and I don't feel tight. And I'm like, that's how you should always feel. Let's chase that. Make sure that that's your normal. Because we're just too many of us that are just like we are too
walk like a robot.
Yeah, we're just too tight, and it's like just loosen up, right? So
body was meant to move freely with the flow, but
movement
I think
is medicine. Movement is medicine.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. Even movement in the nature.
That's it, right? We just need to get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to get back to moving. Like we just don't move enough. There's too much technology. There's too many things that distract us. We sit too much. It's just we gotta move. We gotta move.
So coming to movement, when was the time you actually doubled down that movement is something that takes precedence over a good looking physique? Because there are always two sides of debates to it. What's good looking? You can call a sculpted physique good looking, but that's not always the good looking one. What's real fitness for you?
For me, it's pain free. It's like everybody. Oh, sorry, not everyone. It's a ghost generalization. In your 20s or in my 20s, it's like, yes, I was chasing like this low body fat, and for me, it was like there was always aching pains. And I think I ended up having to have surgery on my hip. And when I had my hip surgery, all I wanted to do was move. And I was in a bed for like a week after the surgery, could barely walk. And they're like, you have to move. And I'm like, I'm trying to, but it was just hard. And then I thought, I don't want to be immobile. I don't want to sit in a wheelchair. I don't want to like not move. So I was like, the more you could, and then like I started moving and I'm like, it hurt. Right? Like anyone that's had surgery, like usually that part is very tender or it's restricted movement. So then I'm like, okay, I am way too young to be an old man right now and not being able to move, right? So I'm like, how do I get more movement in this hip? How can I move? So like it started off with like baby steps, and I'd walk from my bed to the end of the hallway. And I'm like, okay. Then I was like, can I make it down the stairs? Can I make it back up the stairs? Can I make it to the end of the street? And after that, I think my training style changed. My view on Pilates widened, because there's a lot of people that they just accept pain, right? And it's like, that's just the normal. I can't do this, or my shoulder doesn't do this, and that's just the normal. And I'm like, no, like you shouldn't be in pain. Like that's not normal, right? Pain is your body showing you like this doesn't work or something isn't working. And it's like, we need to, I don't know, Freud always says like you steer towards pain or you steer away from pain, right? And it's like most people go away from pain, but that's where you get compensation. So it's like, how do you get people to not be in pain? And that's like why I'm doing this journey and why I like talk about Pilates. And like that goes into like food, which is the other thing that I literally like. I run a restaurant, right? I manage a restaurant. So it's like food helps with that, because some people eat things that cause inflammation or cause bloating. And it's like, we should do things that don't hurt us. Like full stop. So if that's moving more and eating better, those two things go together. And that's why at the beginning, you're like, yeah, I do Pilates so I can eat what I want, right? And I eat things that help me do Pilates better. But like, it would be crazy of me to not address that factor of like, yes, I don't want people to be in pain. I want them to move, but then they also have to fuel that, because certain things, like I know if I have too much sugar, my eczema is going to flare up, or my joints start to hurt. So it's like, how do you have everything together to make you be more optimal and make you feel good? Like, feeling good should be the goal, whatever that means for you.
Yeah, that's so true, because this is something that Sharon mentioned in the previous podcast.
Yeah.
And we were talking about what does real fitness again mean. And even she was like, at the end of the day, feeling good is something that really matters.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're doing Pilates, lifting weights, walking outside.
Yeah.
You have to live a long life and feel good about it. Like, but really feel good about it.
Yes. And not just like, I'm doing this because I'm supposed to doing it. It's like, I'm doing this because I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that's where it's like, people have to find whatever makes them feel good, whether that is Pilates or weights or yoga or whatever it may be. Like, find what helps you feel good. And then, like I said, we'll combine that with, you don't want to eat what makes you feel good all the time, because some people have junk food, right?
Sure.
But right. But being able to, like, in moderation, right? Like, I am not a huge opponent of like diets and restricting what you eat, but everything in moderation.
Yeah.
Right. And if you are eating things that are helping you feel good, like actually feel good, and not just that quick gratification, and you're doing things that make you feel good, then mentally you're going to feel good. And that's where it's like all of that comes together. It's mind, body, and soul, and everything comes together because you're feeling good.
And that's the triangle. The foundation of the entire universe is the triangle, which is the mind, body, and soul.
That's all we have, right? So
yeah, I never knew somebody would come on this show and tell me that Pilates also connects back to this triangle.
For me, it does, right? And that's the thing, not for everybody, but for me, like I said, that's one of the pillars. Like, I wouldn't even be here today if it wasn't for that.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't be moving, I wouldn't be walking. So it's like, everyone might have their own things, but for me, like I said, like you joked, it's food, family, Pilates, those things, they kind of get me to be where I am. And then like you throw in some other fitness, like I love playing squash and just being active, and all of those things together kind of make me who I am.
Mm-hmm. You're actually carrying on the legacy of Joseph really well, because
I appreciate
even his reason of creating Pilates was that he wanted to create something that encompasses everything, mind, body, and the soul.
Yeah.
So I think Pilates was technically a combination of everything, to see fitness from a holistic perspective.
Exactly, right? I wouldn't say there's like one way to do anything correctly, but again, you have to do multiple things, and they tie it back to, if there's something you're doing and you don't like it, you're not going to stick with it, which means you're going to stop doing it, and then you're getting away from the movement aspect, right? Which deteriorates on the mental aspect. And then that can go into like the food, and you start eating things to feel better, or eating things for instant gratification, but that's not going to get you what you wanted, whether it's feeling good or anti-inflammatory or pain-free or the body you want. So it's all connected. It's all, like you said, it's a triangle.
Yeah. That's the thing, right? With today's diet, like, I love sugar.
I do too, I'm not going to lie.
Surprisingly, I have stopped getting it, because if there's a packet, and I sometimes work from home, and if I walk into the kitchen, I see a packet, and I just see it there. Like, sometimes you get it because it's going to last a week. The moment you open it, it's gone the same day. It's so hard to resist.
I completely get that. And for me, it's like, I've gone to this thing where, like, if I love candy. If I'm going to eat a candy, I'm going to give a candy away. And it's so much harder to give candy away, especially when you bought it. You're like, why am I doing this? I'm just wasting my money right now. But it's like, you also have to go out of your way to give it to somebody that will actually take it, because like, you can't go to a stranger and be like, here, do you want some candy? That's weird, right? So it's like, oh, now I got to drive to my friend's house and give him a candy. I'm like, oh, it's not worth it. Okay. Or like you said, just don't have it in the house, because I'm thinking like, do I really want this chocolate bar? It's like an hour on the Stairmaster to burn the calories for that. I'm like, is it worth it?
This is exactly how
like,
I
is
think.
it worth
it?
And then I'm like, no, it's never worth it, but it feels good. But then again, it doesn't feel good, because like I said, if I eat too much sugar, then I know like my knees start hurting, or right. So it's like that instant gratification doesn't help my long-term goal, and that's where I kind of have to readjust my mind, being like, is this going to serve me, and is this going to serve Nathan in a year or in 10 days? It's like, and then I know personally my family genetics are not great, right? So one thing in my head is like, diabetes runs in it. So I'm like, okay, I have to cut sugar down, especially as I get older, because I want to be there for my family. I want to be there for my kids, set a good example. So it's like, is this one candy going to be the thing that helps me or hurts me in terms of what I want to do long term? Is it getting me closer to the age of 100 so I can beat that world record, or is it taking away from that? So that's kind of how I logically try and justify it. It doesn't always work, but
if you think your genetics are bad, try meeting an Indian family. Like, growing up, I got this notion, like somehow unconsciously, I started being afraid of carbs.
Huh?
Because if I have to get to a single digit body fat, and I've been to competitions, so I was a physique athlete.
Okay.
So I competed when I was in the university, won a gold medal in my first one, and the second was a silver medal.
Okay.
Loved it. That was my peak. But that time I was taking like insane amount of supplements, which was like fat burners, L-carnitine. I still take L-carnitine, but protein, just eggs, full high, like 200 grams of protein and no carbs. So I've seen my peak. You get those 8-pack abs, you have those like lines, you have those V-taper.
Yeah.
But the moment you eat a bread, you have this bloating. I'm like, what the hell? There are people out there who can eat a pizza and not gain anything. And the moment I eat something, I just get bloated. And with Indian genetics, they gain weight so fast.
Yeah. See, and that's the thing. I don't know. That's a stressor, right? Because like you're running away from carbs, but if you like carbs, like every now and then in moderation, right? Because now, at least I personally believe, like if you're always avoiding something that you like, that's also a stress, right? And I'm not saying like use it like Pavlov's dog and where it's a treat or anything, but like you want to live, you want to have it. So if you want red a little bit every now and then, you just know that you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z to either burn that or to not have inflammation. So it's tricky. Like there's no right answer. And that's why it's like, especially with the fitness industry, seeing like, oh, do this and you'll get this. And I'm like, everyone's different. Like you can't, there's no cookie cutter. It's not like, if I eat this only, then I'm going to get this. It's like, we even factor in hormones, right?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like hormones play a huge part on it. Whether someone's older, younger, premenopausal, depending on what part of their cycle they're in, like all of those things factor into it, right? And that's why, like for me, I try and keep it as simple as possible for my clients because, again, the more you dive into the weeds, and I could, the more people you lose. So it's like, when you eat something, does it agree with you and does it make you happy? Like if you don't like broccoli, I'm not going to tell you to eat mountains of broccoli. You're not going to do it, right? But like if you love chocolate, I'm not going to tell you to eat mountains of chocolate either. I'm like, that maybe once a week, like maybe not, right? So it's just kind of finding that like happy medium of like happiness and health.
Yeah, it's all about feeling good.
That's it.
So the last 1 week, like as I told you before this, that we have been having butter chicken with roti.
Okay.
And we just went all out because we starved ourselves of bread for so long that when we just tasted it once, for like days we just wanted to have it. It's like pure chicken tikka, malai chicken with tandoori roti. Best combination. You can't beat that. You can't beat that. Yes.
See, but that's the thing. Like, again, it's 1 week of your life and it makes you happy, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, when I see people and they're like, oh, I gained like 30 pounds or this and this and this, it's like, that didn't happen in 1 week.
Yes.
Right? That is, if you said like, hey, 6 weeks from now, we've only had butter chicken night and day, I'd be like, okay, maybe you want to slow it down a little bit, right? Like, probably don't want to do that for the rest of your life, right? But it's just like, if it's 1 week, again, you already know, maybe I should cut it back, maybe I should, right? Like, but enjoy your life. Like we're only here for 80 to 100 years. Like, do you want
you want to live more than 100, you have to run that race.
That's true. That's true. I'm going to be here longer for a little bit just because I got to beat that record, right? But it's just like, yeah, you want to enjoy the things and you want to make memories. Like, I am a big person on memories, right? And that's where, like, going back to like the food part, most memories that we have are related to food or at a restaurant or anything. So it's like, I'm thinking of like my favorite times with like my aunt and it's like we're cooking. I'm thinking about celebrations and there's food, right? And usually, like, I know for me personally, it's like I'm overeating food and that's why the exercise comes in. But it's like, it's that triangle we were talking about where it's like, does it make you happy? Does it serve you to your goal? And does it help you feel good? And if you got those things, then can't be that bad.
Do you ever stress eat?
I don't think so. I'm not
No?
really like I try not to get stressed too often. Like my body obviously stresses, but my personality, I always have this mantra of like, if it's not gonna affect me in 5 years, it's not gonna affect me now. And then I will literally be like, hey, if something annoys me or angers me, I set a time frame. I'm gonna be angry for the next hour and then let it go. Right? Or it's like, hey, I have 12 hours maximum, be angry about it, and then wash it away. It's I always admired like Buddhist monks and like the whole like drawing in the sand because nothing's permanent, right? And that's how like for me, I don't know, it's a lot of effort to be like angry or stressed. Like the world is hard enough as is. I'm not trying to make it harder for myself. So it's like, okay, this wasn't ideal, but then like what's my gratitude toward, or everything you can look at a positive note, right? Like you said, I was 30 minutes late for today, but then it helped out because now we don't have sun glaring, right?
Yeah.
So that's one thing I took out. Like I was late because a delivery came in late, but the delivery came in the same day, just later than I expected. We didn't run out of things, and I'm glad the delivery came in and it didn't not come in because I wouldn't have certain things in my restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And we were running low on them, so it's a good thing. Yeah, late is better than not showing up. And then I was able to see some team members that I haven't seen in a while. So it's just like, how do you spin it so that things are positive? Because I always say it's really easy to point out the negative things in life. Anyone can do that. It's really hard to change your mindset and be like, what was the positive? Because as you mentioned at the beginning, it's like everything happens for a reason. And we might not know that reason at that time, but looking back and reflecting, like I can say like there's not too many regrets in my life, if any. And everything that's happened has kind of built me to the person I am today. And hopefully that's a positive person. Hopefully that's somebody that my wife and my kids can be proud of, that I was in their life. Because it's like, yeah, just try and do right by myself and the people around me.
No, that it's, I would say, never say hopefully.
Well, you
Because
never know till, right?
You
Like,
know, this is something that I believe in. So, firstly, even when you mentioned that you thought that you are late, late is something that, again, it all comes down to how we see things.
Sure.
You can see it as late, but it was all supposed to happen in divine timing.
That's true.
Let's say me showing a certain behavior, I can call it good or I can call it bad, but it's me who's labeling it. So it's at the end who we have a tendency to label our characteristics as good or bad.
That's true.
And that puts further stress on us. So you can see it everything as neutral. And once you start connecting the dot backwards, you see how your life has built up to what it is.
No, very true.
Now.
Very true. I like that.
Yeah. This is something I kind of realized at the end of 2023 December, around January 2024. So for a period of 6 months, I did not have a job, and I continuously kept on stressing, like, why don't I have one? Why don't I have one?
Yeah.
But after a certain point of time, again, like you can't get angry for a certain period of more than a certain period amount of time.
Yeah.
It's a burden on you. That continuous mental chatter, being in that competitive zone. I was like, okay, this is what the situation is. What can we do now? I was happy because I was spending like 2.5 hours at the gym.
Okay.
I was walking to Starbucks. I started reading so many books.
Yep.
And somehow my life took a turn which got me into meditating every day.
Yeah.
So something that I did not follow, even though my dad's into it for years and he's been telling me the benefits of it.
Yeah.
But until it comes from within, you don't do it, right?
Yep.
So I didn't do it, but those 6 months were meant to happen. So even though my parents kept on telling me, how are you going to survive? You're in an international country, things are tough, everybody's getting a job, what are you going to do? I could have labeled it as bad. But now when I look back, it turned out to be really good.
Yeah.
Because had it not happened, I wouldn't probably be here and talking to you.
Exactly. It's like I said, I don't know if it's a divine spirit or if we get to navigate. I feel like we make decisions and not knowing, like you said, good or bad. I don't know if anything is good or bad. It's more just like, you'll see, you'll find out. It's like maybe, maybe not. And perspective, and perception is reality, right? Like you can take something and someone's like, oh yeah, I didn't have a job, but like you use that to go to the gym, you use that to meditate. So you were in a right space and everything happens for a reason and at certain times. So like the job that you got now might not have happened if you were rushing into something that you weren't going to enjoy. So it ended up being like, yeah, this is where you're supposed to be, and it worked out. And I feel like too many people try and push and rush things. And I'm not saying like be passive and let everything happen to you, but like you don't need to be on edge and anxious, but like, oh, this is happening now. We kind of create those imaginary timelines and we create those imaginary like dates. Like this needs to happen by this date. And I'm like, I used to be like that. And now I'm just like kind of step back and it's like, I don't know. It's one of those probably random like LinkedIn posts or something that I saw where it's like, living in the past is depression. Living in the future is anxiety.
Yeah.
Live in the present.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
So it's like, I literally walked today and I was like, you know what? Oh, there's birds flying. I'm happy. Like, I am doing better than 90% of the world right now. And I have the privilege of having a roof over my head. I have the privilege to be able to walk and be safe, not worry about my health. I have the privilege of having good health, clean water. And it's just like, I'm lucky.
Yeah.
I'm very lucky.
There are so many things that can go wrong.
Yeah.
But the fact that you're able to wake up, will shelter on your head, having a great job, having that blessing to be able to be perfectly healthy and interact with the people around you.
That's it.
What else matters? I mean, I know people do stress about money, but at the end of the day, money is energy. It's also everything in this universe is a vibration, and money is a certain vibration.
Yeah.
So the happier you are and the more value you provide, you're going to attract it.
And that's the thing. I don't know. My wife always says this too. Like, if you want to go on a vacation, like the way my job is, there's commission based to it too, right? So it's like, if we need more money, I can work more.
Mm-hmm.
But every time there's been like a big bill or something comes my way where it's like an opportunity comes, right? And then like I always joke to my wife, she's like, why are you always chasing money? I'm like, I'm not chasing money. It kind of finds me, right? And then I just made the joke one time. I'm like, I'm not a pharaoh. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm not an ancient Egyptian. So I can't be buried with my money. So I may as well spend it. And she's like, no, you should save some. But I'm like, no, like it's going to come. Money comes and goes. And as long as you are able to do the things you need to do and not at the detriment of anyone else. Like if my kids want something, I'm able to provide that for them. Like I said, it's me being lucky enough to be in the situation I'm in. And obviously working hard got me there. But it's just like you said, there's no really good or bad. It's how you perceive things. It's how you decide to navigate through. And then, like you said, the blessing of being able to good health, I would even go on top of that of being able to not necessarily influence people, but touch people or have a spark in their life. Like that's kind of like my thing. Like I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to make someone smile. Immensely powerful. Like immensely. Just like you were able to touch that person on a deep level.
You know what's in my head right now?
What?
I think, again, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
You mentioned that money comes your way whenever you need it.
Yeah.
It's also coming your way because you are following your soul purpose. You are on that path. So, you mentioned that we can't rush into things, which is right, because then you're pushing it away. But what you are taking is aligned action. Your hard work is towards the path that you're supposed to be on. And that's why you keep on getting the support of the energy of money to keep you on that path. Because you aren't worrying about it, you aren't hoarding it, you are sharing it, giving it away, providing to other people who are in need, and letting that flow carry on.
No, true. Like it's one of my clients used to always say like he doesn't believe in luck. I'm like, what do you mean you don't believe in luck? He's like, no, it's preparation met with opportunity. And he's like, you never know when the opportunity is going to come, but if you're prepared to meet that opportunity, then that's quote unquote luck. And I'm like, yeah, like I would say I'm a meticulous planner.
You are?
Yeah. Like, yeah. And I have a plan B and everything. And like, I wouldn't say I'm high strung at all, but I'm just like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. If it doesn't happen, like plan A usually doesn't happen. That's like the most ideal. And I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm like, oh, this would be perfect. Like chef's kiss if this happens. Plan B, more likely to happen. Plan C is probably what's gonna happen. Murphy's Law, I hope plan D doesn't happen. But like I have those things laid out, and then it's like something happens and someone's like, how do you stay so calm? And I'm like, because I thought of the different things, and now I'm like, okay, this didn't happen the way I would like it to, but that doesn't mean it was the way it's supposed to, right? For example, like at work, the fridge broke. Well, I need to have things in the fridge. Like I can't have spoiled food. And my boss is like, what are you gonna do? I'm like, oh no, there's a backup fridge. It's not as big, but it's still gonna work. And in the time it takes to fix this fridge, we're not gonna lose anything. And she's like, oh, you thought of that? I'm like, well, you always have to kind of think of just in case. Like it's the whole like rainy day fun. And I think for me, like you said, that's maybe it's an energy thing, but I never get too high or too low because that's just kind of the way the world works. Like it's you just navigate, and it's like good things or bad things, if you want to label that, will happen. I feel like depending on your perspective, you end up net even. Right? Like I could be like, oh man, I didn't get to do this today, but this happened because I didn't do that. It's what you say yes to or what you say no to, and that opens up all the avenues. But usually you should say yes to things that are going to help you. And I think a lot of people say yes to things that they don't want to say no to, not because they want to say yes to that, if that makes sense to me. Like you're saying a yes because you feel like this is going to help the other person, but it doesn't actually serve you. And like at the end of the day, being true to yourself, serving yourself usually serves the people around you.
That's deep. That's deep.
Yeah.
Yes and no. What is your cue? How do you identify that if the yes you're saying is the right yes?
I think that's the hardest thing, and that's the thing that like I have worked on myself. Like I wouldn't yeah, I can kind of say like I used to be like a big time people pleaser.
You were?
Yeah, because like again, for me, if it's not that much trouble to do it and it's gonna make someone else happy, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But then it got to the point where I'm like, do I want to do this? Is this stressing me? Is it causing more? And there's a lot of things in my life where I'm like, why am I doing this? And I'm just doing it because I used to do it, not because I wanted to. And that's where like at work, when people are like, you get a lot done. I'm like, I get a lot done because, like I said, I meticulously plan and I'll make a list of like 15 to 20 things, knowing that from number 10 to 20, they're not important, right? If they get done, that's amazing. If they don't, they'll be there tomorrow. But like the top 3 things of that day need to get done because they're the most important things. And once those things are done, that usually opens up avenues or makes me realize like the things that I thought were important weren't. So then I end up saying yes to those 3 things, and that opens up opportunities or just time, right? And that's like time is something we can't get back. So it opens up time or opportunity to do things that I didn't think I needed to do or wanted to do, or it gives me more time to say yes to something that I'm like, maybe I was on the fence. But I'm like, no, that actually makes more sense for me, and it helps other people around us too. So it's like, it's simplifying, and it's something I'm still trying to work on, always trying to work on. Like I said, I will wake up every morning, here's my list of things to do, and I'm like, number 7 isn't really vital or important.
Yeah.
Like if I don't do it, no one's gonna get hurt, no one's gonna get injured. So I'm like, why is it on the list? Okay, I'll keep it there, but if it gets done, it gets done. Yay for me for checking something off. If it doesn't get done, no harm, no foul. So.
But has there ever been a day where you didn't follow that list and it turned out to be the best day of your life?
Yeah. There are times where like, again, I woke up and I was tired and I'm like, okay, I usually try and make my list. No, or I didn't make a list and I was like, let's just go with it and not try to be so scripted. And those are the times where like fun things happen.
That's right? When the magic happens in the unknown.
Yeah. Like, and sometimes like you can't have the unknown, but like there's times where it's like, yeah, it's just go with the flow. And that's what I mean. I'm trying to be like water. Like you just go with it. there's also riverbanks to water, so you kind of got to direct it a little bit,
Yeah.
right? But at the same time, like I said, like if things get done, they get done. If they don't get done, if as long as it's not hurting anybody and it's not impacting people negatively or yourself negatively, then it's not that serious.
Mhm.
So
And you are a Cancer anyway,
that's it.
which is a water sign.
You're
So I'm
right.
not surprised coming this from you.
Yeah.
Do you believe in astrology though?
I've never really like dove into it, and like there's aspects of it that interest me. But it's not something like I could really speak on where I'm like, oh, I know this. I need someone to like teach me or kind of inform me a little bit more. Like I know obviously like my sign, like I'm a Cancer, which is a water sign. I think I've done more like not readings, but know a little bit more about like zodiac signs. Like I was born the year of the snake, but I'm an Earth snake.
That's the Chinese
Yeah.
zodiac sign, yeah.
Right. So I'm an Earth snake, which is like someone who's really calm and collected, which a lot of people tell me like that's my personality. And I'm like,
Yeah.
but then I have like my buddy who was born the same year, and I'm like, no, you're like a frantic mess. So like I don't know how much that works. Like because like everybody in that year can't be the same characteristics, right? So I don't know if it's like nature versus nurture, or if it's like the things in your past that have happened that kind of shape you. But a lot of the times, like a lot of those things do apply to me, and it's just like I don't know. It's. My mom always joked and like you're an old soul, and I'm like maybe I've been here before. Maybe it's just like I just don't let things affect me because I know like at the end of the day, like I said, I am extremely lucky to be in the position I am and to be where I am, and I don't want to take that for granted. Right? I'm lucky.
I'm sure you came back down on this earth and you've been through this drama before.
Maybe.
That's one of the signs of the old soul. So her and I, we went to this gem expo in Toronto last week, and we met this Akshik record reader.
Okay.
And she was the one we have always kind of had this intuition that we are old souls.
Okay.
Because you have those old beliefs. I wouldn't probably call it beliefs, but you know that you somehow don't fit in here, right?
Yeah.
And she kind of confirmed that. And she's like, she has been here more than I have.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it all goes back. And the reason why we took birth once again is because to complete the loops of some of the things that were pending for like the past 2-3 lives, and then this one we have to do it.
Okay.
So, and when you look back, probably somebody would have to read your chart and everything.
Yeah.
But it would all come down to that 1 or 2 lessons that you would have to learn, and when you connect it back to your life, you'll see it happening that the things that you are struggling with probably would turn out to be your lessons.
And I think that's probably the beauty of life, right? Because it's always learning, always growing.
Yeah.
Because like, I don't know, for me, I always tell people I know nothing. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm learning just like you are. I don't know anything. At the same time, I feel like I'm always growing and learning lessons. And everybody that I interact with teaches me something. And I just have an open mind because I've mentioned my best friend a few times, and he always has this thing, like he was a psych major. And he'd talk and it's like, oh, you can never win an argument.
You can never win an argument.
Like anyone, you can never win an argument. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you don't win arguments. All you do is hurt someone's feelings. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And he's like, if I say the sky is blue and you say the sky is purple, whether you're colorblind or whatever that means, all I'm trying to do is tell you that you're wrong. And if I could succeed at telling you that you're wrong, you feel terrible. So I didn't win an argument. I just made you feel bad. And I was like, huh. And he's like, okay. So he's like, why are you spending all that effort and all that time to make someone feel bad? And I was like, that's a different way of looking at it, right? Well, at the same time, he's like, it's not about changing people's beliefs to your beliefs. Because if you lived in the same shoes and had the same experience as someone else, you'd probably react the same way. And this is why, like, when I go through and I'm at the restaurant or if I interact with somebody and they yell at me for something, I usually am like, that's not because of me. It's they had a long day or they didn't sleep or their newborn baby worked them up.